Along the way, an opportunity presents itself to audition for Breaking Benjamin. Can you share how you heard that the band was looking for a drummer? And then your audition was something unique. It's the stuff of lore that you were the only drummer to submit your audition on a VHS tape at a
Yeah.
time where nobody had VHS. And Ben from Breaking Benjamin apparently had to go out and find a VHS just to watch your audition. Like, there's a chance he might have never even watched that based on the medium you presented. So, can you speak a little bit about that kind of lore?
Yeah, um, I use my faith a lot in interviews just to remember where I came from. It was meant to be because no one does a VHS tape when the DVDs were more relevant. So there was a reason all that happened. I was working in the factory. Before I was working in the factory, I was in a band called Switched in my early 20s, signed to Immortal / Virgin Records. And we did a lot of touring. And we did this one bill at the last minute, kind of just got all thrown together at the last part of our tour. Was me, my band Switch, Nonpoint, I want to say Revly, and then it was Cold. Also Darwin's Wayne Room, amazing band. Cold was not on our bill. A band called Lifer and a band called Dope.
Wow.
And it just got all thrown at like one couple shows, I think it was. And I met this guy named Aaron Fink, who was in Lifer at the time. Mark was not the bass player at that time. He was already doing Breaking Ben. He left Lifer. And I looked at Aaron and I'm like, he looked kind of miserable. And I said, well, what's wrong, bro? He's like, man, I'm just not feeling this band anymore. I think I'm over it. I think I'm going to go join my bass player in this band called Breaking Ben. And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, go where your heart is leading you, is what I said to him. You know, happiness is more important than being a rock star. But his band was great. Lifer was awesome. And we all hit it off great. And then later on, my band, I quit the band and I got married, and then I started working in a factory. Well, over the years of being in my first signed band, I got endorsements. And my first ever endorsement, it came full circle recently, is Vader, drumsticks. And Switch wasn't super big, but they were decent. I mean, we did Ozfest and I had an MTV video and all this. I would just call Chad Brandolini, the A&R for Vader. Hey, if you ever hear of a drummer that gets fired, let me know. And he's like, bro, you're an amazing drummer. You're going to have no problem. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm working in a factory. He's like, I'll keep you on my radar. I said, okay. So I remember vividly working in the factory, and we were allowed to listen to music all the time. And that was great because it kind of motivates you. I love music. You get to work and listen to music. And I remember hearing Breaking Ben So Cold Unplugged on WWMMS. I think it was MMS at 92.3. Can't remember. It's been so long since I lived in Cleveland. But it was one of those stations, and they were doing like an acoustic performance of So Cold. I was like, man, I just wish I was in a band like that. It's a true story. I wish I was in a band like that. And just that, like, be play on the radio like this, and they seem like they're pretty big. Well, here's the funny thing. Go backwards. So I'm in Switch. We are on tour with Chimera and a band called No One. I can't remember the other band. And we're playing in PA, a place called Tinks. And this band's opening up for us called Breaking Ben. And this tall, lanky dude with a book bag comes to shake my hand. And I was an a-hole. I just blew him off. I thought he was some janitor dude. I was like, bro, I gotta set up my kit. I gotta go on stage. Sorry, man. Nice to meet you. Pleasure. Whatever. After they got done performing, everyone left. And I was like, this is a local band. Something's weird to me. Oh, they just got a record deal and they're going to record their first record, hence became Saturate. They were massive in their hometown already. Everyone left for us. And I was like, who is this band? Right? Didn't know. Years and years and years and years later, I'm working in a factory and I hear this band on the radio. And I'm like, I wish I was in that band. So all of a sudden, I get a phone call from Chad Brandolini months and months later. And I'm praying on this, mind you. I'm like, just please, God, just give me one more shot. I get a phone call and he goes, actually, Breaking Ben just lost their drummer. They're having auditions. I said, bro, can you put in a good word? He's like, I'll give you the drum tech's number. So I also had another friend while this was happening. I also had another friend who was in the business that I've acquired we became friends through touring. So he would always look out for me. And he goes, actually, I date a girl that is I'm good friends with this girl that dates the guitar tech of Breaking Ben. And they're playing in Columbus tomorrow. Well, I live in Cleveland, it's 3 hours. I'll go drive. I already heard them on the radio, so I know something is happening in their career. Maybe I pissed off the lead singer because I thought he was a janitor, but we'll deal with that when we meet. So I'm about to drive to Columbus. The night before, Dimebag and Vinny get shot. Now, I know those guys personally because they were my manager's band, Damage Plan. Same with Drowning Pool. So we already lost Dave. I witnessed that on Ozfest. So Breaking Ben doesn't go to Columbus. So I missed my opportunity. They closed the place down. That's the place they were going to play the next night. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's my opportunity. So Chad calls me and goes, they're looking for a drummer. I said, I get another opportunity. I got you. So I hit up the guitar, drum tech, Jay Ballinger. And he goes, here's the deal. I don't care if you can play every Tool song. If you don't know Natural Life for your audition, don't even come. That's the song they care about. That song, I gravitated towards that. Like that was the easiest song for me. So at my church, my ex-wife said, call your old guitar player and see if he can get you a camera. Well, he didn't have the greatest quality camera. And I had my mom's school PA, and I just started learning songs on the fly. And I'm like this, I'm like, film me. And she goes, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you just do it back to back to back to back? Not one song, stop it, one song, and I'll record you like you're doing a show. So it's actually my ex-wife that brought this up. So I did song and a song and a song. When So Cold came on, you can see this on YouTube footage. My kick drum pedal breaks. And there's a part where I have to go, right there, my pedal breaks. So in a live setting, you can't stop the show. So what I do, I flip my right foot over to my left pedal because I played a double pedal. And I wasn't a big double bass player at this time. So I was still learning the songs as I'm playing them. And I play the double pedal with my right foot. And later on, they told me I got the gig because of that. I didn't stop the show.
They could see that the pedal gave out?
Yep, because it was behind. She would film me behind and then film me, forwards. So she got different angles. That was before GoPros, mind you, and everything, and all different angles and editing software. So it was old school. So then every time I would play, the PA would stop. It would shake the CD player and it would skip. That's another thing that got me the gig, because I'd keep playing, but I still didn't miss it. I was right on the beat. So everything was against me on this audition, everything. Then I told my ex-wife, I go, why don't you do this? Just because we're funny people, you do an audition. You just start playing the Breaking Benjamin stuff. She goes, hi, my name's Szeliga. I'm here to audition for Breaking Benjamin. And she starts playing. I'm at my factory job. And let me back up. Sorry about this. So after we got done with the video, I take it to my friend Chad Dennis, who I was in a band with many years ago. And I go, can you convert this to a DVD? He goes, it broke. My VCR/DVD player broke. And I'm like, well, how am I going to get this to him? He's like, I can still put it on a VHS tape. And I'm like, what? Bro, I don't even have a VHS tape player anymore. He's like, this is the only thing I can do. I'm like, I need it by tomorrow. He's like, well, let me just put it on a VHS tape. I'm like, okay. So he puts it out on a VHS tape and I send it off. About, I don't know, 2 weeks later, I'm still in my factory job. I'm like, this sucks. I get a phone call. I'm out of work. I'm literally driving home. And a guy named Freddie Fabry, who basically got Breaking Ben's success, was their tour manager, and goes, hey, we watched your audition. Now I'm driving. I'm at a red light. We really liked your drumming, Chad. Like, really liked your drumming. But it was between you and another person. And I was like, here we go. Bad. I was making bad news in my head. We really like your wife's audition. I went, what? Yeah, we just thought she possessed a little more talent. I was like, I'm divorcing her. I'm divorcing her right when I get to the house. They're like, no, we were joking. You were hands down the best of all of the auditions. The crazy thing is Ben had to look in his closet for a VHS tape. Why did you send a VHS? I go, bro, I don't know. That's the way God wanted it. That's the way God did. But here's the crazy thing, dude. Everyone sent a DVD, all in alphabetical order. You could click on what song. It was nice and categorized. Everything was professional. Here's my crap, but because I did something out of the ordinary, the antennas came up. This is the only dude that gave us a V. I gotta see this just to make fun of it. Well, if you're making fun of it, now I'm your drummer. So I did the audition, another audition to come to the studio. Well, not their practice rehearsal spot, which was like a music shop behind was a practice area.
So the VHS got you an in-person audition.
Yeah, they wanted to meet me. And Aaron Fink sees me and he goes, I remember you. I go, I totally remember you. He's like, bro, I wanted you to be the drummer from day one, but I thought you were brothers with the lead singer. I go, no, the guitar player and the singer were brothers. I would have left that band in a heartbeat. So it's like, again, when God wants you there, he'll put you there. When people are like, well, God just doesn't like me and my life sucks and this happens, things happen for reasons. And we have to look at it like that. My job was not to be the drummer of Breaking Ben in my early 20s. It was like my later 20s. And it was more warming to my heart to say, now I want it more than life itself. Because I already saw what it was like to sign a record deal. I know what it's like to play on a record. I know what it's like to play in front of hundreds of people, thousands and thousands of people. Just give me one more shot at it. And then there I am with Breaking Ben.